Welcome back, friends, to our final match of Playday number 9. It's Team Secret versus Natus Vincere, and this is the final matchup of the entire stage. This is it. Stage 1 out of 3 in the entire competitive year ends tonight with this game, and what a game. Let's have a chat about these two squads. First of all, Team Secret, some of your good friends. Some like me, some don't. Depends whether they remember. Depends on the ranky stack? It depends whether they remember if I called them soulless or not. Anyway, Secret, weird stage. Very, very strange stage because they kicked Packball after those first 2 losses. They bring in their coach Titan. They win 2 games. Everything's looking absolutely upside down and mental. They're going to get slaughtered by Heroic and Rogue, and then arguably, actually, should have beaten G2 and BDS in the final 2 games, losing only 5-7, but for a couple of things going different way. I think actually, given the circumstances, not too bad a stage for Team Secret.
They're not in a too bad of a stage. I mean, since I've joined the ranking stack and playing with Titan, the man has gotten an ego that is far beyond anything I've ever had.
He doesn't play hard breach in the rank stack
he started
anymore.
playing Finka and Jan and stuff like that. So it's like we're looking at a player. I think they're mispositioning him a little bit inside of the team, because if they put him on Finka instead of Keenan, who's had an okay stage, I think they would do even better.
What about Navi on the other side, Fabian?
My preparation for this game wasn't that much to begin with. But when I went into Navi, I'll be honest with you, it's a game that doesn't matter to anyone.
No, it matters to these teams.
It's kind of like we've already gone through this a billion times, I feel like. They're lacking firepower. That's as simple as it is. They have support players on their fragging roles, and it clearly shows in their attacks that, sure, they might be slowing down a bit, but it just doesn't seem to fit the current meta, and it seems to be their complete weakness. They don't really have that true entry fragger. They have just too much of a supportive background, which just doesn't allow them the space they need.
The player that they've got on the actual quote-unquote entry frag role is almost their lowest rated player in Thunder, and if you look at the KD, is actually a lower KD than Secretly. And I think that kind of speaks volumes to kind of where they're at.
Yeah, in our ranking stack, I'm the entry frag, so you guys can pick me up if you
oh boy,
However,
here we go.
It just haven't looked great for them in their attacks. We see that they have made player changes. I don't know if the solution is in this team, but what I'm seeing right now is that they probably need a little bit of a shake-up. At least one guy needs to start to frag. So, yeah, it's for me, I feel like it's just get the 3 points in this game because they need them for the end of the year. And then after they've had those 3 points, if they get them, it's just they're fighting for the 3 points so that they get them instead of their opponents for the bottom fight.
Well, you talk about players, and I want to put a head-to-head for this one. Let's bring it up on the screen. Jack, I know you always want to say something.
Oh,
here it is.
Me. So I stuck Kendrew Blair because realistically, I don't like doing head-to-heads, and I don't like highlighting teams where it's not going great. Let's be fair, it's not going great for either of these players. But both of these, Kendrew's a Pro League Finals winner, for goddamn sake. Blair's played at 6 Invitationals. Both of these players can do far, far better than what they're currently doing. And I wanted to highlight them because they're not doing too great on very similar roles. And for both of these teams, I've said this for a long time for Navi, Blair needs to be the person to step up and be, I'm the guy for this team. Kendrew, to some extent, in this Secret team, in this current situation, needs to be that person as well.
Yeah, Kenny needs to step up the game overall. He's had quite the rough of a stage, and sure, they've said that they're taking it by the vibes and they're feeling good and all that stuff, but that kind of, the operators you're playing and the role within your team doesn't allow for you to be that far back, even if you're playing these, like, more of a relaxed gameplay. We're looking at Titan coming in, and he's playing the hard support, the shot caller, the one that pulls everyone around it. He's the one who's going to drone. He's the one who's going to have the worst stats. So as long as you still have him in the back, the front 4 should still be able to perform to a degree. It's just that the end round that should be the difficulty part, or the difficult part, but that's not what is the difficult part for Team Secret right now. Jack called them soulless before. They're kind of missing that initial take and the initial hold, the initial strength of the round.
Soulless is actually a pretty good way. Lacking identity is another thing. Attacks that lack identity. There is a caster sentence for you. What are our map for this one? I know Jack always wants to step in and say something.
Titan is great.
What is
now,
it?
by the way.
Just Salih on Nabi. It's fine. You'll get there. Cafe Dostoevsky. Team Secret will pick up the map here, starting off on defense. Navi on attack. Jack, please.
Oh, it's a map that... So Secret have basically got 3 or 4 maps that they've played because they've got a limited map pool.
So they've thrown up Canal. They've left it open. Now they've been happy to take it because they've got loads of footage on what Secret are going to do. Simple as.
That's it.
I mean,
that's why you were shaking in your boots.
No,
there.
I wanted to talk about something previously, not to do with the map bans. It's kind of for Navi, it was take your pick of the ones Secret are going to leave available.
Okay.
Don't take them to Skyscraper. Secret have liked it. Don't take them to Theme Park. Secret haven't banned it whatsoever this stage. Get them on Cafe, where you've seen them, you know what they're going to do. They're going to try, Titan drop in the skylight with the smokes. They're going to go for a garage take every single time on your kitchen. They're going to go for the reading doll plan. As we've seen 3 or 4 times, they've played Cafe. So I understand why Navi have taken them there.
And I think the Titan is going to drop 20 kills.
He's been
Thank you
playing
very
way
much.
too much ranked with Titan.
Yeah,
by the way.
honestly,
He's my best friend now.
You know what? It's done with you. Let's get you
just
guys
wanna
to
play in a
rest.
team.
No,
Come on now.
You two can rest up, and let the casters actually do their job. So thank you very much, Fresh and Fabian. That's Secret versus Navi. Let's toss it to our casters. Tim, Fresh, and Fab. Okay, whatever.
We're the casters now.
Look at me. Let's go.
Casters, it's looking more like Caster, but we're going to have a couple of others. We weren't joking. Fabian's coming over. Fresh is going to join. We've got the last game of the stage, so we're going to try something a little bit different.
I don't have a chair.
You can sit on the floor.
You can have mine.
I can
stand
sit
up.
back
as soon
here.
as the game
Hang on.
gets going, don't you
There we
worry.
go.
We're going to try a little try-cast for the little Navi secret game.
There we go.
So now I'm not only going to be the best player to ever touch the game, the best analyst to ever analyze the game, I'm going to be the best caster to ever cast the game as well.
I know work out back in.
It's as easy as that.
I have all the titles that I need.
We're going to give it a go. A tri-cast with 2 colour. Well, are you a colour cast? You would be a colour caster, Fabian.
I have no idea what anything of it is.
We're going to get underway. It's going to be Team Secret versus Navi. We're going to be on Cafe to kick things off, and there is a big social leaning towards Navi getting the win here. Unsurprisingly, but Team Secret's still picking up that 30%. There's been a lot of belief growing in this team, and I've said it a few times, and I'm interested with you two guys on the cast with me to sort of explore your opinion of it a little bit. We kept talking all the way through about what were teams doing wrong. Why were they allowing Secret to beat them? And I said there comes a point where we've had Secret stretch team after team, G2, BDS, Outsiders, and others. Surely there comes a point where we have to say Secret have done something right here and in difficult circumstances.
I talked about identity and I talked about Secret being soulless. The one thing I think Secret got from playing that Protect the President siege was actually they had an identity. We play for the plan every time because Titan cannot shoot straight in this type of arena. So you play for the plan every single time. You know what you want to do. Siege, at its core, is a game that can be very complicated, but it can be very simple. Look for where you can plant, and it became effective.
There are a lot of different ways to play Siege as well. And with the Team Secret style of they know the end goal, they can always find a route towards the end goal. And another issue that a lot of teams have is that they don't really have a plan. They have different segments that they want to do. Like, for example, we're playing Oregon. One time you take Freezer, one time you take backside, you go through the hatches and tower. There are lots of different ways to do it. But if you have the end goal always considered before you even start, that's a solid base to build on.
Yeah, and that's what I thought is you always know what you want to do, and therefore your objective is clear in your mind. Teams, Siege teams especially, like to overcomplicate things when they don't necessarily need to. It's why you see some teams where they go for like a path of least resistance approach do particularly well.
Heading into the game then, we have our operator band, Stature, Iana, Valkyrie and Echo. Iana is an interesting one that we don't see too much of. I often write it off as an operator ban a little bit, because for me, if Iana gets banned, you're going to bring the Finker. Do you think it's really that impactful in Iana ban?
Finka is much stronger at this current meta. It's just the LMG that you got at your disposal is just way too good. And banning the Iana, it just has to be they want to put some player out of their comfort zone, but Iana, there is much stronger operator.
Well, that's it for me. If you're an Iana main and it gets banned out, you really shouldn't be out of your comfort zone going on to the Finker.
Yeah, the comfort zone is just much bigger than that. And there are other operators as well. Like we're looking at Sophia having that LMG as well. There are 3 really good, strong fragging operators that have a lot of utility clear. You could just bring either one of them. Yeah, there's just so many of them.
heading into round number 1 then. We're going to have a reading room defense to kick us off, and it's going to be Team Secret that starts off on the defense. Blur looking alive there, getting straight in, knowing that there could be a peek coming out of that pillar's window, so he's just going to be careful approaching. I would expect to see NAVI getting themselves up to the rooftop, trying to go top floor clearance down. We saw Team Secret setting up inside of there. I think Titan was in and around the pixel spot. He was putting the ADSs down, but I don't think we'll find him playing there. It's a bit too much of a key area for gunfights.
We're looking back at the game where Secret played against G2, and we saw how G2 always overwhelmed wherever Titan was playing, and they found that to be the key to, well, their 5 attack wins. If NAVI can use it the same way, it's going to be a lot harder on Cafe than it's going to be on Chalet, where you have to spread out all over the map. Cafe is so small, so compact, you can't always find that one person you're looking for. So I think this map pick is going to be quite good for Secret.
As you say, always fighting over sort of small areas on Cafe. It tends to be sort of flashpoints. It's getting clear pixel, a lot of fights around there, clear cocktail, a lot of fights around there, rather than being too widespread. And that's exactly what we're seeing at the minute as Thunder starts to make his way in. He's going to get himself established inside a cigar shop, and that's going to be a little bit of piano control by extension as well. But I think there's still going to be somebody playing in and around White Corridor for the time being. It's actually, no, Keenan's actually dropped back now. So all 3 fresh playing in a really tight area near cocktail here.
Yeah, the idea is obviously to delay time. You'll probably see at least 2 of them maybe drop, and then maybe Keenan just try and stick it out and then get an exit frag. They're doing pretty good for time here, to be honest. A minute 20 before the action's actually going to come in. They need to drop the hatch pretty quickly, though, to get themselves off to safety.
Really good progress made so far, but Secret, they managed to hold on. Keenan Kendrew, the 2Ks getting 2Ks as they manage to get themselves opened up. Now Keenan, he's down, but he's still potentially, no, he's not going to be picked up now as Nath manages to find shots, but takes a lot of damage in doing so. It's effectively a 2 versus 3 as Sleben's gone down elsewhere on the map as well, and there's 45 seconds left to go here, but NAVI, they are fighting back, taking themselves a little bit of control now up on that top floor. Secret deciding to dip away, deciding that is enough up there, but there should be a lot of time for NAVI to work these verticals.
The hold that they had there on construction on the little blue area was really good. They were stuck in their positions, but they allowed NAVI to get into their lines of fires and their pre-placed C4s and just really picked apart the attack while it looked like the attack had picked apart the defenders.
Blur, he's looking to get himself inside of the site now. He needs to be thinking about getting into that plant spot. He's got Nath up above him, so there should be a reasonable opportunity, but we can just see that Goyo gadget burning the fire away that's making it difficult for him to get in there. He's going to be downed, and surely that's going to be it. Nath, he wants to push forward, but the time is just burnt away by the Goyo gadget.
Look at the value that you get out of Goyo. It became a 5th, 6th person of the team there. Pop it, they cannot do the plant spot. 25 seconds, that fire, and you saw the range of it as well. Blair had absolutely no chance. In the end, he's tried planting in the fire, but it came down to the Goyo hot pocket. Won the round, 1-0 Secret. A good win. I think they did really well, stubborn on that top floor, fought for their lives. They got 3 kills. It did cost them a couple of lives in the end, but it was totally worth it.
And it seems like Team Secret have actually prepared new stuff, because this is not how they played it the last time.
Correct.
And with these Goyo traps that they have, those 20 seconds, Cafe is the map where most teams start running out of time and kind of do some sort of panic assembly of an attack the last 20 seconds, the last 15 seconds. One of those Goyo traps on wherever they're attacking the last, that's just going to stop the entire attack. And it worked.
Worked out perfectly there, as we saw Blur just unable. He tried to get himself in, he tried to squeeze himself up against that bookcase, but just could not find his way away from that fire that was underneath his feet. So that's going to lead us into round number 2. Team Secret with a successful defense to kick us off, and this time it's going to be the top floor site. It's going to be Bar and Cocktail that they tried to hold on to, and likely going to be much the same as previous in terms of the top floor hold, although this time we've got a little bit of a reversal on Washroom than we saw last time fresh. Last time in round number 1 they had the left hand side reinforced, they had the right opened up, they had a shield in there, they had some ADSs. This time they've reversed it, they've got the mirror and they've got the castle on the White Corridor door.
I think they're presenting kind of a layered defense, is that they're going for the shop hold initially, then they're trying to hold on to piano, and eventually fall back to the backline. If you think about the previous reading attack, the backline was where they were falling back from, and I'm calling the backline as Cocktail, Planks area, top white area. that's the ultimate end goal where they want to drop back to with as many kills as they can. Whereas in the previous round, obviously, that was where they were defending, looking to then drop back into site.
When you're playing the top floor bomb site, you don't have as much space to give up. You need to kind of contest it at some position.
Ooh.
The mirror window really stops that push into piano and kind of shuts you down and locks you into playing around into cigar. So you don't really have that much space to play in. With the castle barricades, the the gates they have on the laser gates, you kind of become forced into doing a specific attack.
We get a lot of kills raining in here as NAVI managed to find themselves the third of the round so far. 4v2 now, and it was a big opener from Keenan to kick things off, taking down Thunder on the Zofia, which could be problematic when you're coming up against those castle barricades. We've seen, of course, Bolo at previous events able to really dominate the piano area with Zofia from the rappel, so it could have been a big loss, but NAVI have responded fantastically well. Titan going to get himself involved in the action, and Secret just trying to hold on for the time being. 2v3 though, that is going to go a long way towards doing so.
Even if they have they're going down with the plant now, so Secret are kind of stuck in their positions in bathroom. Well, they're pushing out. They're getting these positions that are kind of rough to play from, and it kind of shuts down the entire defense as soon as NAVI gets that control. They know one guy is offside, they know one guy is behind the mirror window, and that entire round just gets shut down because NAVI knows the defensive positions of Team Secret, and there's nothing they can do from those positions to really stop the entire take of the bomb site.
I think the idea was right. The idea of the defense was right. It was just that they got caught in positions where NAVI didn't have to work realistically for the kills.
No.
I'm not seeing castle barricades being killed. I'm not seeing Aruna gates being burnt. I'm not seeing any of that. It was just 4v2 very quickly. I think if Secret, they're not actually going to go back there, but I think if they do go back there, just stay static in your positions, make NAVI work for those kills. You talk about the Aruna barricades, the laser gates, Ayana ban. It's one thing less to burn them with. They've got rid of the Zofia quickly. There wasn't a lot of burn on the side of NAVI, so play to the strengths of the site.
As you say, I mean, coming in there, you look at that from a defensive point of view, and you think they might as well have just brought 5 guns. It was, you know, the utility just really wasn't in play in that round. It was pretty easily circumvented by NAVI, just essentially ignoring it, and we see that happen with Roamers, we see it happen with the utility from time to time. This time it's going to be train and mining that we go into, so it's going to be a similar defense to the one that we saw for Reading Room. I would imagine we're going to have some top floor presence. We've got the mirror being set up in Cocktail, we've got some reinforcements on the dining side of things as well, but this actually seems quite open. You've got bar back storage wall open through into piano. There's only one reinforcement on the side of washroom. They're sort of inviting them into the top floor a little bit here.
And you're completely correct with that assumption. They want them to take piano so that they can use this mirror window to play it against them. What you have to do when you're attacking the bomb site underneath here, train is the kind of rotation area, right? It's the center hub of this defense. And when you have it so that they can take piano for free and you don't have any information, be that Pulse, Valkyrie, Mira, whatever information you have on piano, that stops them from actually committing to doing vertical play only. If the defenders can challenge both horizontally and vertically at the same time, the attackers almost have no chance of winning that. So with this mirror window, it's all to invite them to come into piano, give them piano, that's all free. But the vertical play they're gonna have to commit to is gonna be rough.
No, Titan! So close! Titan just getting himself out on the roam there. I thought, what are we seeing from Titan? I love this! Getting himself into the mix, getting out in the action, but he just dropped his ADS at the wrong time there and loses the fight on the tight angle.
If only he wasn't aiming at kneecaps and moving, he might have had a chance in that gunfight. I'm wondering how he's got himself onto the Melusi. I'm not going to lie, I feel like he could have been better on the Jaeger or the Mirror in this particular strategy. And he's been the opening depth. I respect it. He's trying to get out and about. He's got 2 kills, 2 to 3. Not bad for a coach standing in. But I feel like he's cost his team a little bit there, maybe getting a little bit too active.
I know why he's playing it, because they have a new player that we don't know about that they're probably trialing
in that particular
role.
Yes.
Exactly, so everybody else is just fitting into where they should be. Now then, Selma Charge is going to be taking that mirror window down. This is not going to be easy for Sleb, and he's going to drop away. He's having none of that pressure, but that gives NAVI the top floor control. Now they are in a position to start getting that floor opened up. They're just not completely sure. Thunder going in very cautiously there, not completely convinced that the top floor is clear. Knows it's very easy for a rotation to come back up white, but we saw the drone drop onto there, so that is flank in place. Claymore down. They should be pretty confident now that they've got the top.
Yeah, and I think it's about it's about moving. I think it's Kendra underneath out of his position inside the train, getting what you can from the vertical. For Secret, it's realistically about, you know, potentially C4's already expended. It's about not dying, really making that clock work for you, so that when there's 20 seconds left and it's a panic execute, you've got the upper hand.
Nitro just going off there, not going to do any damage as it was more understage than anything else. We've got the verticals being opened up by the sledge now. 30 seconds left to go, and Na'Vi, they need to get themselves moving here. They've got to think about getting themselves into sight. There's still 4 left alive for Team Secret. That's a lot of angles that are going to be getting watched at the minute, and there's absolutely nothing really that has been done on those verticals to move anybody. Secret are just locked in position, and they're just waiting now. They're just waiting for those engagements to come. We find ourselves in the final 10 seconds. Yak's going to get a kill onto Kendra. The plant is going down as well, but here comes the fight back from Secret. Can it be stopped? No, Sleben gets 2. Keenan with another 2v2 as the plant is confirmed, but Secret, they're going to have to fight their way back into this. They've got about 32 seconds left to do so if they want to be able to disable that active diffuser, and they've got Keenan on moderately low health as well, just underneath half health. Yak's going to get himself on that upside down rappel, and he is locked in position now to try and defend this diffuser. 17 seconds left to go. Secret, they need to work a plan out. Sleben, he's thinking about the long arm. He's trying to just bait out a bit of attention. Thunder with the Claymore kill onto Keenan, and it's all up to Sleben. 2 kills to find. He's not going to do this here. There's absolutely no way. Na'Vi, they've managed to sneak in. They've managed to get themselves the diffuser down and get themselves around.
So I explained how to hold this bomb site when they're taking Piano, right? You have the mirror windows, so you challenge both horizontally and vertically at the same time. When Secret throws away all their explosives, they lose that for the second floor, right? When they go for the plant with Na'Vi, you want to be able to challenge them with the pulse from underneath, while at the same time have your players box in on the bomb site and close down the horizontal angles. We had Blur, I think it was in the basement with Finka, so sure, we had someone contesting them, but the Pulse needs to be able to play the vertical game, use his C4 to deny a plant if they plant in one of the... Well, there are very few positions where you're safe from the vertical play. They just play the bomb site wrong. That's how it comes down in the end. They just played really wrong.
It's simple as that. You've got to, if you're going to use those C4s early, you need to be getting the kills so that you can then double up when the plant's going down.
Yeah,
not getting the kills,
The man advantage from those C4s needs to be achieved. Otherwise, you have just wasted them for no time trade.
It's unfortunate for Secret there because you're talking about a team, regardless of whether they're playing with a coach. The coach was dead. He was the entry death. You've got 4 core players playing that round. You expect better from them there.
I mean, you know, even looking at the C4 there, one of them was a little bit astray. It was understage. It's not really going to do much at that point. It's, you know, you're not going to kill anybody stood on top of stage if it's detonating underneath it. So, like you say, if you're going to rely on that, if it's going to be a big part of your defense, you've got to be at least making sure that it's accurate. But we head into round number 4 now. It's going to be 2-1 to Na'Vi, and they're looking pretty sharp so far. They lost the opening round, but other than that, they've been pretty much on top of it. They've been getting the entries. They've been keeping control of the game and keeping control of the map so far.
When you have that one player less that Secret does, it kind of turns into one of those problematic situations when you're playing against a team that's a bit slower. Because if you're playing slow against a team that has one player that they cannot rely on, you're always going to have to find those gaps where, okay, we can use our 5 players against their 4 players plus, well, a coach. So you always can overwhelm them at some position, and Navi has been successful doing so.
Navi are actually very fast this round. They've cleared the map more or less within a minute. Blair's already making his descent down red stairs, potentially going to look for a little freebie. He is one of the best lurkers in this game to get kills in these types of scenarios, but the rest of Navi, look how quick that vertical's coming in. They've got 2 minutes to clear out the whole of site with vertical, then work for the VIP shield, and then look for a plant and look for an execute. They've set themselves up really nicely this round.
Pre-placed drones is most likely the key to that. If you have pre-placed drones on Cafe, it's one of those maps where you can really shut down all of the drone game in 10 seconds. If you can have 2 drones that are placed in a way that, well, top floor is clear. Have one that sees top red stairs, have one that sees top white stairs.
And then you move in fast.
And then you move in like a lightning bolt. You can just shut down the entire roam, and 2.5 minutes to work on basement, more than enough to win.
So it should definitely soften up the defenders. Team Secret are just holding themselves up inside a kitchen, and they've got VIP for the time being. Sort of spread out towards red stairs as well, so there's still plenty of angles that need to be broken down from Na'Vi here, but there's going to be a lot of work for Secret to do to try and hold on, because the pressure's just going to mount and mount down there now.
look at this information they've got in sight as well from the zero cams. Yak is just giving all the info about when they can and can't plant. As soon as this VIP player is dead, they will go in for the plant with full information on double door, or well, on both double doors of sight. They have an idea where players are, and it's just about forcing them out. However, they have burned through a minute 30 before the grenade's going to go through and eventually get the kill onto Kendrew.
Big start there secretly, just managing to find that vertical nade, and there's the second. Going to take down Kane and Kendrew. That leaves us now in a 5v3. Yak once again able to get in there and start getting that diffuser down, and that will be a successful plant. Titan cannot find the kill. Blur able to peek him out. 1v5, this could be a flawless round for Na'Vi. Sleben trying to get something going. We've seen him have a couple of good play days over the last few weeks. Can he get one yet? Can he get two? Absolutely not. Thunder strikes and gets the final kill. And that's going to be Na'Vi 3-1. And this is turning into a slippery slope for Team Secret.
The information game that they had in that round from Team Navi, that was just insanity. That is perfection when it comes to attacking. Early map control, took it in 30 seconds. After that, you're getting these nade kills because they were allowed so much time to do vertical that they knew exactly where Team Secret player could be, nade them out, and then the guys on the periphery, outside of the bomb site, they can't do anything.
Normally that attack's pretty stressed for time, right? So you throw in nades on more of a whim. Whereas Navi were throwing it there with information, knowing certain spots were clear. They were not stressing that attack whatsoever. Clear it out, get those nade kills, and as you say, Titan's left on the coat door looking at red stairs. They've got another player in Bakery, just off-site, can't do anything about the plant going down. And that is like, if you want a 101 on how to attack Kitchen with a full clear, that was it from Navi.
Going to be heading into round number 5 then. We've got a reading room defence once again. It's the one site that Team Secret have been able to win. They frustrated Na'Vi last time. So looking at this round, Fabian, Na'Vi coming in on the attack, what do they do differently here? Because they took top floor pretty quickly last time. They lost a couple of men doing it, but then ultimately just ran out of time on the clock.
They ran out of time, but at the same time as they ran out of time, they also failed in the clear of top floor. They had them boxed into top, well, white stairs, call it construction is what I would like to call it. They had them boxed in, 2 of them. One guy had to hold highway and the other guy had to hold cocktail, and they got their frags. That's where the issue comes in. You get one guy rappelling on the east side, so by the cocktail window, you kind of shut all of that down. So swap out the flank hold for a Nomad or something like that, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But it seems to be a completely different strat.
Secret have also gone away from the mirror, from the Goyo that worked so well, but I'm wondering if this is a fast strat up the hatch from Nave. We're seeing a Yak and a Ying on the windows. This execute's coming in anytime soon.
The excitement is there, Nath. He's in position, he's ready, he's waiting for that call. There go the Candelas, and here comes the Amaru. Nath goes up, but gets shut down, and that's Secret. They were ready for it. 3v2 as the kills rain in. This is an absolute madness inside of the first 45 seconds. Diffuser's down on the ground, and Navi are left scrambling, trying to find the scraps of what's left of this attack. It's 1v3, it's Yak. He's trying to push himself up while there's some sort of advantage still from those Candelas, but they're going to be long gone at this point. He knows there's one at the top of these stairs. He goes to make the challenge. He's going to do a little bit of damage there onto Gomfi, who's just going to dip away. The smoke canister will be detonated, and, well, it's all gone wrong on that attempt of a rush from Navi.
I don't think Navi knew that they had a mirror window there.
No.
That's why they tried to go for this, because the Amaru goes straight up the hatch into a mirror window that's not smoked off, because both smoke grenades flew into the highway or into a hallway. So they were missing information that round. They went for a play and they tried something completely different from last time. Didn't work.
It's like chalk and cheese, isn't it? You see round 4, where their information game is unreal, and they win the round off the back of it. And we're in round 5 now, where the information game was a little bit lacking. They've tried to play with not enough information, and it's not worked out for them.
I don't think it's something we have to look deep into on Navi's side, however.
No, free attacks, it doesn't matter really on Cafe.
Yeah, but even if they were lacking the information this round, I think it's not because they played the information game poorly, it's because they went for a gamble, a coin flip on the super fast, super aggressive strat.
Yeah.
They didn't want to drone, because if they drone too much, what do? Well, they give it away.
I think they realised that they came unstuck on clearing the top floor last time, and instead of dealing with it, they tried cheesing around, knowing that they had a 3-round attack on Cafe, which is more than okay, because they can defend that out. If the rush works, it works. If it doesn't, no biggie.
Bit of an opportunity to try that play out, see how it goes, see where the problems are maybe, sort of work it out for then maybe having an opportunity to do it at a later point where it's a bit more meaningful. But heading into round number 6 then, it's going to be the final defensive round for Team Secret. You get the feeling if they can take this 3-3, they maybe feel like they've come away with a bit of a win there, because NAVI have pretty much been on top for the majority of rounds. So Team Secret, they're going to be keen to hold on to this top floor. It's going to be Bart and Cocktail. We saw it in round 2. They were unsuccessful. NAVI were able to win. Kayak got the plant down, and they pretty much overwhelmed them. Team Secret really struggled to hold on. So what's going to be the difference in this defense?
I don't know if there's going to be any huge differences here. It's when we look at the entire half overall, what we're going to see is that Team Secret have had really good attacks, especially on Cafe when they've been playing it lately, and the few playdays they've been having with Titan, while NAVI have lately actually been struggling really badly on their defenses. They haven't won, I think, more than 2 in their last 3 or 4 games out of their defenses. So if they change over now and they get this 3rd round, Team Secret isn't in that bad of a position, especially with attacker repick and how the entire map, kind of all maps really have started going more in an attacker favored. Cafe especially has gone attacker favored. It's a good half if Secret gets the 3rd round. What they're going to do different here, just don't throw away your lives. That's basically what they did last time.
Yeah.
Sleben bringing along the Mozzie, and do you think that's a little bit of a nod fresh in towards the, not necessarily the last round, but we've seen some great informational play from NAVI, bring along the Mozzie, try and disrupt that a little bit?
Yeah, do that.
Too much.
I think the idea was probably we've got an extra C4, disrupt the information, but he's tried jumping out of a window to get a pick. I'd been punished from a completely separate window there. It's not really an ideal play. I think you play it once again on the merits of the site is that you don't have to do too much as a defender. In fact, as a defender on this site, if you do too much, you normally get punished for it. So seeing Sleben do that is difficult.
One thing is for certain, they're not listening into what we're talking about, because giving away their lives early is something they succeeded in failing, I guess.
Succeeded in failing.
Yeah, it's like we said, don't give away early kills.
Team Secret, succeeding in failing.
Gives away a kill within the first 30 seconds on Cafe.
Eighth on the gridlock there, we see just applying those track stingers to the 2 flanks. There's going to be some at piano door, there's going to be some on the red stairs, and it's just going to try to prevent any sort of pinch coming in from Team Secret being able to push onto the rear sides, and it's going to allow NAVI to focus much more onto the site here, especially given that man advantage that they've got. It's very unlikely at this point that Secret decide to send somebody underneath and maybe search for that push up the red stairs. They're going to have some attention towards the east side as well, and pressure's really mounting from all directions here as Blur manages to get a beautiful little nade bounced off the door for him. He's going to take down Kendrew, and that leaves us now in a 5v3, but are they aware of Titan underneath? No, they are not. Titan hitting his shots, but he's going to need to hit a few more. You got a feel for the man. He's in a 1v4. The plant is going down secretly, almost certainly going to stick this one, and you can see the Roma Hunters are out on that middle floor. They're going to be looking for Titan. They know exactly where he is. He's trying to open up the verticals, see if he can find anything cheaply here, but as soon as he moves out into this corridor, it's likely to be over. Bullets just peppering down around him. He gets a freebie as Jack runs in. He's not ready for the fight, and Titan manages to take him down, but there's a lot of work to be done. 17 seconds, 3 kills to find. Very unlikely that Titan's going to be closing this one out.
Well, one thing is for certain, you can clearly see that Titan is a ranked player because he's saving KD when he's 1 versus 4 with the plant down.
Oh, another?
Oh, look at this, triple kill. So Titan is going to come up with a half with the most frags in his team, then you know something is going wrong. Team Secret are quite naive in their positioning of their players. We're looking at them playing the most basic corners and the most basic positions, and then they're being picked apart by nades and drone information. And they're not really moving. Even though they get droned, they stay in the same corner. Kenny, they're dying on the Maestro, on what I call Vase, which is the first corner of Cocktail. It's just, it seems like they think too much it's a normal game when it's not, because they have to play differently with their coach, play a bit more aggressive so that you can weigh up that lacking frag power. Well, I say lacking, but he's their top fragger. So,
And I think that's where it's starting to go wrong, is we're saying Titan is almost a free hit, right? You're expecting the other 4 players to still be doing their part. At the minute, they're not.
No. They're not. They need to weigh up for it. And it's hard to see what they could have done differently. Well, I guess it's not that hard. They should have played a little bit more aggressive in the rounds where they didn't, and then the rounds where they played too aggressive, well, that's where they should have played passive. And it sounds stupid when I say it, but honestly, they gave away their lives too early in some rounds, and in some rounds they just sat back and waited to die, basically.
Maybe need to find a little bit of a middle ground and just, like you say, keep themselves into the better positions in the middle of the round. But we're going to head into round number 7 then. It's going to be NAVI moving on to the defense, and the first site they're going to choose is going to be that reading room, and certainly starting to see a bit of popularity for it today, not just on this match, but the other that we saw on Cafe. And for me, I'm all for it, because I kept saying last year, throughout the year, I kept saying, please stop playing bar. The win rate for defenders in EUL of top floor was terrible, and they just seem to demand to keep playing it as the primary site, but it definitely seems to have shifted now.
In my very simplistic way of looking at the game, reading is like a bar defense, where you've got to do all the same things as an attacker to attack bar, but then you've got to attack the site below as well. So it's got more layers. So in my head, it's a better defense as well. But, you know, what do we know? We're just on the broadcast side of it.
It's changed to it. I know this because I've played it so many times. The reason why you used to play bar as your primary bomb site was because if you play on the bomb site underneath, there's a lot of places where an attacker can kind of just randomly sneak in and get the bomb site for free because you hadn't studied the bomb site well enough.
Because you're busy playing above.
Yeah, and you haven't learned how to play it well enough in the defense setup. That have kind of changed now, and the attackers have gotten so much more proficient at taking top floor because it was always played against, because you knew that was the primary bomb site.
Yep.
Basement was usually the secondary bomb site. So you played so many times that you got so good at taking it that now we're starting to play the third bomb site, which is, well, dining, reading, and it's kind of like it's moved around because attackers have gotten so good at taking it, it's no idea to even play it anymore.
It's just a passage of time. It's essentially the same thing that we saw with Villa.
Yeah.
The top 2 sites on Villa for the longest time being the popular ones, and then, you know, it's much more common now that we see particularly Dining and Kitchen brought in, and I think just Villa was, I think, largely down to size of map as well. It just took so long for teams to get to grips with exactly how to attack those top floors, but they got there, and they got there on Cafe, and we're starting to see that difference now then. We're going to have Team Secret looking to work in horizontally. Keenan, I think, going to be getting himself onto a rappel potentially, but there's not too much pressure on the top floor at the minute, Fresh.
No, as we're seeing Gomfi, he's just pushing in the 90 corridor. Slevin's managed to find one already. And I'm wondering if this Protect the President siege is going to start coming out pretty quickly. And if Titan's going to start going in for a plant pretty quickly. They've got 90 control. They've got man advantage at this point. Realistically, there's not too much that can stop a plant. However, secretly, on this particular position, is a big element of that. That Jaeger Carbine isn't what it used to be, though. He'll only do chip damage onto Titan.
Yak's going to find one onto Gomfi, but as you said, Titan, he gets himself in a position to plant, but it's Yak who's there to deny it, taking the shots with the UMP through the soft wall, secretly managing to get Keenan, and all of a sudden we have this swing around in the mid-round where NAVI are all of a sudden on top of things. 3v2, and the attack is falling apart for Team Secret. Kendry going to tank a load of damage there and just have to dip himself back into elbow. He's trying to press forward, he's trying to get something going, but with 9 seconds left on the clock, it's unlikely. Kayak manages to find himself another. That's a triple on the round. 3v1 shut down by Blur. It's going to be NAVI taking the round, and all of a sudden it's 5-2. And what happened there, Fresh? Secret looked like they had it.
Where did Gomfi go? Gomfi had 90 control. He could cover Yak's swing all the way through to Laundry. Where's he gone?
Into Narnia.
Exactly.
He disappeared.
So Titan's going in for the plan, and then Yak's he's peeked himself out. Normally the 90 player gets that kill.
Honestly, I know that
the
feeling.
plan cover's just disappeared
I'm
into
holding
Narnia.
it. I'm saying, you got me cut. Yeah, you got me cut. I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead, guys.
Titan is more
We
trusted
covered
now.
Titan in the rank stack better.
Our rank stack covers Titan better than that. But yeah, I don't know. It's basically what happens there is the Team Secret have all the keys to win this round. Then they let go of 90. There are so many different ways that they could play it, and they played it the one wrong way, which was let go of the cover.
Yeah.
I would have had rather that they push deep and go aggressive because of man advantage.
If they did that with 5 people, they win that round.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have Nomad on top 4, Nomaded off everything. They have, after the Nomad traps, you saw that they had drones to cover this next step. So they had a staged hold on top floor. They didn't really need Nomad to be there even because of these Nomad traps. Had they gone all 5, that round would have looked completely different, but instead, I don't know, they let go of the plant cover and
then it was 1 by 1.
Yeah, it was, as you said, Jack, they have the ground plan, which is protect the president, get him to plant. But as soon as the president is down, they've shut down Air Force One. Everything went to hell.
They've gone to the bar.
They've gone to the bar.
President's on the stage, we can go to the bar now.
the kill. Round number 8 coming along then. It's going to be a top floor defense this time from NAVI. They've got themselves wedged into pixel spot. Interestingly, not something we see too frequently now. They've got both of the walls reinforced in washrooms, so going to be playing somebody, no doubt, playing deep into there and trying to hold on to that. I'm wondering if it's potentially going to be the Warden of Blur, bringing along obviously to try and ward off, but no, he's at the bottom of red stairs at the minute with the potential for the flank onto the hatch. Needs to be careful, the drone will spot him out, so he's going to relocate now, and that's good information game from Team Secret at least.
Interesting that Secret have brought the Ying, despite the fact that Navi have preemptively gone to this site. They know that Secret like to smoke and Ying and drop down the hatch and plant. They've brought the Warden. Secret look like they're still going to go for that with their operator lineup because they're still bringing that Ying on Kendra.
Question is if they know about the Warden, though. It's obviously Navi are prepared for the game. They know what sort of attacks Team Secret likes to do. And if they're going to try to do the cheese against them, well, they're already prepared. They have the Warden ready for it.
Although he is downstairs.
Yeah, he's in a bit of an odd position, I'll admit that, but they have prepared themselves.
He's going to get himself back up, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be in a position or in the mindset to play an aggressive role where he will give away his life to, in the end, kind of cripple his own team in terms of their defensive capabilities.
Kendra, he's ready in position, he's on the skylight with the Ying, and you just know that he's waiting to drop those Candelas in, but for the time being it's going to be a drone that he drops in, looking to just gather a little bit more information whilst that Toxic Babe canister just whiles its time and wastes away. But the drone gets taken out and Kendrew's left looking for tight angles, looking for anything that he can find, but there's no pixels to be had at the moment, and Team Secret just struggling to get any sort of opener, get any sort of crack into this round at the moment. And Navi quite happy to play behind those reinforcements, play behind those defences. Here we go. There are the smoke canisters, there are the Candelas, and it is now or never. Titan is already in and planting in the corner. He's nearby.
Got it.
And Kendrew is on the overwatch here. That's going to be a successful plant, and still in a 5v5. We haven't had a single kill yet. Titan gets the first onto Secretly, immediately traded by Yak. Sleben managing to find one onto Nathan. You've got to think at this point, this is likely to be a Team Secret round. 3-by-3, and Yak manages to get himself another. Navi continue fighting, and there could be an opportunity here for them, but there could be the difficulty of anybody who has got themselves up onto the skylight. Sleben managing to get a double. It's 2v0 as Sleben gets the last kill, and that's going to be a successful attack for Team Secret, and a little bit of a sneak by Titan getting himself in there.
I have so many questions.
5v5 plant.
Okay, 5 versus 5 plant. Fair enough. That happens every now and then. But where's your Warden to stop that? That's number one. Number two is, why is the guy on Skylight peeking when he has the diffuser in the perfect position to play the last 15 seconds from there? And then, it's just... How? Why? Why aren't you in your right positions? You guys are good enough players to be in the right spots.
Yeah.
There is no excuse for Navi to not have their Warden in the right position. Instead, you have a Maestro who can literally sit anywhere. He can be on the camps from... He could be in Narnia, watching the camps.
Yeah.
But instead, he's the one playing on 12
And that's where Blair could have swung out C1.
They're so early.
He could have swung out in C1, looked through the rotate, looked through the Hibana hole, and seen with the Warden ability, and just got the kill on the
and he can just go through the flashes. And
I think that's where, when people talk about Warden being a hard counter to Ying and Smokes, it's still so situational, and it relies on the player being in the right position still.
He is a perfect counter, but you actually have to be there to use it.
That's it. You've got to be, as you said, just knowing where that... The thing is, that is not identical to how Secret have played it every time, but the Candelas and the smoke always come from the hatch. So you
it's the same
know
idea.
that it's going to be in the bar area. It doesn't matter where the plant's going down. If you want your Warden in the right area, he needs to be able to see into bar. So it's not like it's some little niche plant spot that they've used that would have been unexpected.
And if you're going to play that passively as Navi did, just bring the pulse. If you see that they're not taking underneath, you're seeing they're not taking barely anything off the map, just play the pulse. That planter will never go through. Ever.
Round number 9 then, it's going to be a kitchen defense. We've got Secret straight away up onto the top of the building. They're going to be going for the top floor clearance, looking, as we usually say, for about a minute and a half to make sure that they've got those top 2 floors and they can start opening things up below. Interesting, we've got the reinforced wall electrified as well. Let's, if you're wondering why that is, it's a little bit of a random wall on its own, but it's the angle that it can give. If it's left soft, if it's breached, you can open that up, open the floor underneath it, and it just gets you the angle that you need down onto that double door.
Yeah, and that's a position that defenders like to play. We talk about defenders on this site, when the vertical starts coming in, they kind of swarm out into these positions just outside of sight. That double door is a power position the defenders try to hold on to. That's why that wall gets reinforced in pro play, and that's why in this particular scenario it's also being reinforced. Pretty good from NAVI. They've wasted a minute 30 on the roam. You know, we're still seeing Secret drone out the top floor. They'll probably get another 20-30 seconds passively here of Secret just droning it out, which means Secret have got, what, a minute to work with. The hatch is already open for them. That's fine, I guess. The hatch would be opened anyway by Titan, but they've still got to get in and start doing the vertical, so I'm worried about time here for Secret.
First minute and 40 has been strategically perfect from NAVI. They played the roam game, they wasted time, they fell back,
They've not died. Yeah.
Drones are being taken out, they've played it really good. This is basically the way that you play basement defense, and you do it perfectly in comparison to Secret's, well, taking and giving top floor within the first 20 seconds.
Coming into the final minute, then it's all going to be down to NAVI to try and hold on to this, but the onus is definitely going to be on Secret to get themselves moving and getting themselves working in towards site. They don't have any direct access yet, and they're not really in a position to start thinking about getting that diffuser down. It's 5v5, and I can't see them getting away with that again. We're coming up towards the final 30 seconds now, and none of that throwable utility really doing too much, but Kendrew managing to find the boots of Nath as he tries to head through to Freezer, and that is a nice pickup for Team Secret, and it might just be the catalyst that we need. We see them there. The drop goes into the freezer. They are inside a site now. There's an opportunity to potentially get that diffuser down. Kendrew with a second on the round, and it's going to be Blur who goes by the wayside. Thunder has done nothing to prevent them getting in and getting the diffuser down. He does get himself. No, it's Secretly that gets the kill onto Kendrew. The plant does go down. Titan, that's another one for the stats, and that's going to be a final kill from Gomfi, and Team Secret have taken the lead. No, 4
easy Tiger.
Carried away.
Easy
They're
Tiger.
on Cafe, and I'm just assuming that Secret are going to run away with this.
I think realistically, that round, as you said, Fabian, the first minute 40 was perfect. And then they made one mistake. Well, not one, they made a couple. But Thunder, in that position of VIP, he's there to deny the hatch drop to at least make it hard. Titan dropped the hatch while Thunder stood with a smoke canister in his hand, just looking into the abyss, seemingly. 2 people had dropped and passed Thunder before he even thought about smoking. The plant's going down. Kendrew got 2 good kills from the vertical as well. And the round really fell apart from NAVI. In terms of adaptation, they need to do that same minute 40 again, but then just be better in the end round. Thunder needs to be more proactive on the smoke. He's still on it. Yes, he is.
He can't see this passively. That's the baseline of it. He was too passive.
Yeah.
He didn't hold the drop.
He needs to be the first one dead.
So from the perspective of the attackers, whenever you drop that hatch and you're about to go for the plant, what will happen, I would say almost 80% of the rounds when you're playing against a team that holds it properly, is that the first guy who drops, he's going to get killed by that guy. The reason you get killed by him is because you have to clear so many other things out as well. So you have basically 3 things you need to worry about when you drop, and if that smoke is not holding it actively, he kind of lets them just run in and take the site, especially when Nathan had died running to hold the close angle. Nathan died almost at the door into the freezer. Had he been alive, I'll accept what was done by Thunder.
Yeah.
When he's not alive,
You've got to be
no
aggressive.
excuse for it, and it shows that it's maybe fear, maybe it's nerves. What it is, I couldn't point at exactly.
I think he's a passive player by heart, to be fair.
He's a support player.
Yeah.
That's where he is, but now he's an entry as well. It's an odd choice.
And that's the NAVI predicament.
Yeah.
Kendrew bringing along the Monty this time. It looks like Team Secret are going to completely switch up the attack rather than going for Freezer. They're going to be looking for a bakery take. They want to get themselves established inside of there. Lots of droning going on at the minute and not too much progress. We've pretty much spent a minute at this point completely droning everything out. So Team Secret should have a really clear picture of what is ahead of them at the minute. And they're just looking to probably push in behind Kendrew. They've got a little bit of a breach there onto Pantry as well. So that's going to help them to get established inside bakery.
My query is, how are they going to breach?
I was just going to ask
the Cave
you.
Claw is up, and realistically, I can only think that they're going to also try and take control of Red Hall and walk the Monty up. Because they're running the Nomad, because they're running the Capital, there's no Twitch, there's no Khalid, there's no Thatcher because banned away, there's no Maverick. How are they going to breach the bakery wall doing a bakery attack? That's the biggest problem that they've got to find a solution for right now, because if not, Kendra's just going to be stood there looking like a lemon for the next minute.
I think that Secret needs to pick you and me up, Jack. Our ranking stack wouldn't commit this mistake. We would have had a Maverick in this lineup.
Look at what Gomfi's doing now. They're forced into some weird take. It's not just a direct bakery.
And you're
Gomfi's
doing
now
this with Capital.
solo doing a full clear of the Capital, yeah.
Yeah, it's just all wrong, and it goes just that way as well.
Secretly, he's going to get the opener on to
Keenan.
5v4 now, Navi, and as you say, Keenan having to take over on that clearance, having to try and get some pressure from the mid-floor down so that they can clear off the Kaid Electrical, so they can get that wall breached. There was no real plan in order to do that, and as you say, Kendrew's wasted a lot of time, just sat there inside a pantry, basically, waiting. Titan, he's in there trying to make the challenge into train. It's not going to be easy. The shotgun comes out. Does he get his man? It's a bit of a ring around the roses, but no, he gets caught out. It's going to be Nath. It's going to be Nath. He's going to find two, and that's 4v2 now as Navi have got themselves a good advantage, and they'll look to be cruising towards a map point opportunity. Kendrew is inside of there. The ping is coming out from Yak just to say, well, I've got a Monty here. I might need a little bit of support in dealing with this, but now that they're down to two, it should be easily mopped up. Thunder more active inside of this round, gets himself one. Blur with the last, and that's going to be Navi taking themselves on to 6. And what was a great attack from Team Secret the round before, going in through Freezer. You got to ask questions this time going into Bakery.
I can barely keep myself from laughing watching that.
Well, I mean, the idea for a bakery attack with a Monty, I love it. I love Monty. But the problem with it was, as we said, the breach. Now, you can do it two ways, because obviously Navi are playing above. You can go and kill them above, fine. It's not good because you're going to be so late on time. Or you can try and just force it. Maybe that was a better idea. I'm not sure. What you don't do is send your Capital. And then you send your Keenan. And then you send the guy that you want to breach a wall to go up there as well, to end up dying and leave diffuser up there whilst your Monty's in sight.
And your Nomad is doing nothing like on the small bakery. What's going on?
It's the most puzzling attack I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah, you want to know what I would call that? Soulless. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what their purpose is as individuals within the team in that attack.
Yeah, that's not Navi winning the round, that's Secret losing the round.
Secret is even not even in the round.
Yeah.
They're sitting on a rocket ship around Mars. Like, they are in orbit around somewhere completely different. I don't know.
That's a frustrating one.
We'll give Secret a pass on that one. You know, they're not playing with full strength. That's, you know, give them credit where it's due. I'm trying.
You're giving them excuses they don't deserve.
Coming into round 11, it's going to be a top floor hold from Navi, and this is where they're going to want to try to hold things down, get it locked out, get it finished. They don't want to be going all the way to 12. They want to get this done here and now. We're going to have Kendry this time on the sledge instead of the Monty. Everything else looking pretty standard. Keenan on the Finker as we would expect. No Ying this time, so we're not going to have the bit of cheese coming in from Team Secret of the Smoke Ying plant. It's going to have to be pretty standard, I would imagine, this attack.
They can't really repeat the stuff that they've been doing before, especially not the attacks of the off-bomb sites. It hasn't looked great these first 4 rounds that they've been doing. One of them was okay, but I would question Navi's play rather than praise Team Secret's. My prediction for this is that he's going to go straight into a Navi win, but that's just because of the way that Secret have been playing. I don't see what they could do differently because they don't seem to be here.
I think they're going to try and play this much more traditionally. We're seeing Keenan, he's already getting burned for the pixel shield, which will eventually be taken out with the grenade. So we're talking about a checklist cafe. We're talking about a checklist top floor, take control of Cigar Shop, take control of Piano, and then look to force the defenders further and further back onto the backline to then set up for a plant. More often than not, if you do it well, you actually never actually get the plant because you've killed them by then, because it does end up feeling quite claustrophobic on that backline.
Titan opening up the wall at the top of red stairs there. That's going to give access for Team Secret, so that is step 1 pretty much completed there. That's going to be the Maestro cam taken down as well, so the utility clearance continues, and Team Secret can look to try and progress in towards Piano at least. Pixel spot is now unmanned as the shield has been cleared out. There's one still inside a washroom that will need to be dealt with, but they can at least take that first step. They can tick that first box that they've got themselves Piano and Cigar Shop, but Navi, they're pretty stationary, they're pretty static at the minute, which tells me that they're pretty confident at the minute, but they shouldn't be, because Kendrew finds a beauty of a nade onto Secretly, and then the kills start to rain in. We find Kayak getting one back onto Keenan in the midst, but ultimately, Team Secret come out on top 4v3 now.
If we said that they didn't have a plan last round, they for sure had one this one. Does double nade, where we also saw a nade rappelling from heaven.
the window.
Yeah. He threw it at the same time, so no matter where that Meister player would have been, he would have died to that. Another thing for Navi here, they don't have a breach denier. So the gameplay that Secret wanted to play, which it didn't turn out to be the one that we saw in the end, they wanted to take it step by step, like Jack said. They had no breach denier, so Secret could just take that step by step completely for free.
And then you start seeing in the end, when that happens, the defenders feel like they've got to get a little bit active, and they just walk into the line of sight. So that's what you saw in the very end there with the kills, the flurry, the cleanup from Secret. Good round. Navi had a similar moment in the first half where they had a really good round followed by a really bad one. Secret have just done the opposite. They had a really bad round and then followed it up with a really good round.
One thing players at all levels need to learn to do is allowing their opponents to commit mistakes.
Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Exactly. And in Siege, it's one of those games where you can kind of calculate when your opponent is about to make a mistake, and it has nothing to do with reading the players individually and what they think or how they want to play the game. It has everything to read about numbers of men. So basically, if you get 2 entering kills as attackers, your defenders will almost always lash out. This might not work in silver ranked, but it does when you get to the higher levels, and it does work very well in competitive, because in competitive, man advantage is massive.
You know they're going to peek out and try and get the kills.
Exactly. So when you have these 2 early kills that the Team Secret got, just take 2 steps back, allow the defenders to push into you. You have better guns, you have better scopes. It's just completely free for you, unless the defenders hit the nasty shots. And that's why a lot of the pro players are pro players, right? Because they are good enough to hit those nasty shots with worse guns against better guns. But never stop your opponent from making a mistake that they're clearly about to commit.
Going to be round number 12 then. If Team Secret can get this attack done, we could find ourselves heading into overtime, and it would have looked unexpected at the beginning of this one, but as I said, coming into it, we keep saying this about Team Secret, but yet they keep taking teams to 12 rounds. We keep saying that teams are making these mistakes against them, they're allowing them these rounds, but it's team after team that they seem to be coming for, and Navi might just be the latest victim here. If we find ourselves in overtime, it could be anybody's game at that point. Keenan is on the east side for the time being on the Sophia. He's just going to be clearing out a little bit of utility. It is a reading room defense coming in from Navi, so it's going to be the top floor clearance from Secret, and they're making decent progress. Just inside of a minute now, they get themselves into Cigar Shop, they're going to head into Piano, and they've got an exact utility at hand that they need to clear out these castle barricades.
That castle barricade is pretty curious in Shop, because it's just allowed them to walk into Shop for free, which is something that defenders sometimes try and contest. Obviously with the sledge on hand, there's no utility band to get rid of it either. And once again, no breach denial, or only a mute to breach deny, which means that long angle is already opened up all the way from Titan. Secretly is going to have to find, you know, some kind of savior inside a barback storage here, as he's now got no ADS's Heaver, which means a nade will follow in. He will peek out, try and get himself a kill. Gonfi will get it. Again, checklist stuff from Secret. They've killed him. It's now about the backline players before you start the vertical, and whether you can get them out of their position without losing any lives.
Really nice teamwork there coming in to clear out Freezer. Nath just trying to hold on to any sort of semblance of top floor control for the time being, using those Toxic Babe canisters to just try and prevent progress coming down that lane through the white corridor. Blur could be on for a long flank here. He's taking himself down underneath, maybe up red stairs, but the question will be just how far up he goes. So the time being, he's going to hold himself inside a court check, and he's going to need to do that because there's a man on blue stairs. It's the Flores of Kendrew who's going to sit and hold that angle, but it has been leveled up in terms of man count. 4 versus 4 now, 25 seconds left to go, and Team Secret need to think about getting themselves in a position to plant here. Where is Titan? Where is that diffuser? And where is the opportunity going to come from? Gonfi continuing to open up the top floor. Titan gets himself a kill onto Thunder. He's going to carve his own path. He's going to find his own opportunity, and that's exactly what he does. In by the bookcase, getting the plant down in the default spot. There's a man coming in from the pillar's door, but Kayak gets taken down by by Keenan, and this looks for all the money in the world like it's going to overtime right now as Blur. He's trying to get something going from the top floor, but he's going to have to get a lot going in a 1v4. He gets nothing as Gomfi shuts him down, and somehow Team Secret have fought their way back into this one and take us to overtime.
4 attacks on Cafe. That is absolutely sensational. 3 plants. Navi had a great attacking half. Secret have had a great attacking half. We'll go into overtime. We've seen, what, 7 plants in 12 rounds? This game has been a very attacker-sided Cafe.
As I said before, Cafe has kind of turned into an attacker-favored map, but they have done really well with their attacks, Team Secret. We said that the unconventional with all these operators that they picked didn't work out whatsoever. It looked like a complete mess. But then, for some reason, they managed to go back to the checklist siege, where the most basic stuff, the most basic attacks, and every single one of them work out because
Effective.
Yeah, they seem to really know the plan.
I said
Titan is showing up. He's getting kills.
They don't overcomplicate it when they're playing this brand of Siege with Titan. I'm not saying Titan is the future, don't get me wrong. He's not. They will get another player in, but teams try to overcomplicate things at times.
Titan's on 8 kills, I'll have you know.
He is. He's out fragging. Oh, he's even getting himself onto a nade operator, getting himself onto Maverick. He's out fragging Keenan. He's out fragging Comfy right now. But it means they've got a clear objective in mind, and I can't stress this enough. If you give a team a chance to overcomplicate things, 9 times out of 10, they will. Because they'll always go through their head, what if, what if, what if? And they go so far away from the original plan. With Titan, it's simple. Get me in, I'll plant, we'll win.
He might be replaced in Team Secret, but he will never be replaced in our ranking stack. He is the glue to that ranking stack. He is the glue to a Team Secret. He's not the future for that team because of mechanical talents. I mean, sure, he has 8 frags now, but I think he's got almost more kills in this game than he's got the entire remainder of the stage. So he's not been doing that hot. But now they have the Maverick for the basement attack. This is exactly what they were missing. And Navi is setting up with the same defense.
Realistically, having your coach playing in the team like that, how much is that effectively like having a tactical timeout after every round? Is that realistic, or is that just sort of fanciful?
Yes and no. And the reason I say both of them is that, yeah, sure, your coach might be strategically smarter than some players. That shouldn't be the case. Your in-game leader, the one that has kind of the back control, should be strategically more sound when it comes to in-game. The stress that you get from playing official matches is something coaches aren't really trained to deal with. While the players, sure, you're not trained by some professional unless you have help with it. You're more used to it. So you're kind of used to going up against the best players day in, day out. Coaches, yeah, they will give you the strategical part, but they will also be lacking in the mechanical part and the mental part. So yeah, it might be that you have a timeout every round, but at the same time, he might be too stressed to use his brain.
We see Titan just going to work on the Maverick there. He's going to clear off both of the reinforcements. So that is this time going to allow Team Secret to get that breach open. There shouldn't be any excuse this time, Fresh. Is that going to be the difference maker on attacking Kitchen?
They've still got to deal with the players above. We're seeing Nath there. There's information in terms of sight, inside of sight. I think it's the bulletproof. There's 2 bulletproofs on the side of Navi that are feeding information. You saw the red ping on the drone there. Nath potentially can clear out planters, people pushing into sight from above, so they've got to deal with him. As Slebin's actually gone down outside, but has been reboosted by the Finker. Secretly finds one onto Titan, and that's your planter down inside of sight as well. In theory, I think you should probably go deep where they can't see you from above, but he got caught going through the rotate.
40 seconds left to go. They're going to try to brute force their way in here, potentially behind Kendrew on that Capitao LMG. Going to grab the diffuser as he goes. He knows there's one in Kochek, knows there's one up above him, but there's just very little he can do about it. He's going to have to try and stick this plant here, and you know what? He might just get away with this. It is going to be successful. Can Kendrew get out? No! Kayak shuts him down, and now it's all up to a 1v4, but it's that man Keenan. We've seen him do it before. We know he can do it again. 1v4. It's 1v3 now. Can he find another? Yes, 1v2. Diffuser down. He boosts himself, but no, the flank comes in, gets the kill, and Blur, he's going to shut him down, and that's going to allow Nath to disable that active diffuser. It was close from Team Secret. They threw a bit of a Hail Mary there in just sticking the diffuser, but they just couldn't hold on to it. They just rushed in. They didn't have that post plant set up.
Star player Titan died while trying to go for the plant.
I think he went too early.
He went a bit too early.
Didn't consider Kochek, did he?
Exactly what I was going to get to.
Sorry.
They could have used their smokes for that, and The funniest part is one guy on the window above can kind of shut down the vertical play
Yes.
on the main, well, the default plant quite heavily. So had Secret done it a little bit better in terms of their positioning of their players, they should have had one guy on the ventilation balcony to take care of the guy playing inside engine. That would have completely changed around the round. Smoke off coat, smoke off deep, and then all of a sudden,
You've got the
have
plant.
everything that you need to get the plant more safely.
It's a shame because the idea was good. The adaptation was good. And it's literally, you know, what do you put that down to with Titan? A little bit of inexperience maybe, you know, of being in that scenario of, there's a checklist of this. They thought about smoking deep. They thought about smoking the vertical off. Instead, they actually should have smoked coat off and had a player covering the vertical from the window. And it's just small mistakes that lose you around in Rainbow Six.
They are very small mistakes, and I feel like any sort of player should be able to call that out for his team, if that makes
True.
sense. It's not on Titan individually, it's not on whoever is next to him individually, it's more of a group effort where everyone needs to be able to see the map in kind of like the way we do it right now. We see it on an overview, and we see how the setup is done.
Yeah.
When you're a player and you get these callouts and you see the map yourself with your drones, you kind of need to build yourself your own 3D version of the map where you can see, okay, what do I need to do to take all these steps and what is the most effective way I can do it? None of them saw it. It just happens. Sometimes that's just the way it is. Small mistakes.
Round number 14 then, and any more small mistakes from Team Secret is going to cost them the game. Na'Vi are on match point here and just need one more round to lock it down. The difficulty for Team Secret, of course, being that they are on the defense. They only had 2 successful defenses previously. Both came in reading, so it is absolutely no surprise that we see them in reading room once again. But Na'Vi, they've had a little bit of practice on Cafe today. They've had a little bit of practice on reading room, and they might just be able to get this one over the line here and now. Kak's brought along the knock, which is always an interesting choice. It's one of those surprise operators, very quiet moving around the map, keeps herself off the cameras and can just be difficult to pin down. Blur holding that long angle, trying to cut off any rotates from defenders in and around site. Red Stairs is in the control of Na'Vi, moving pretty quickly here.
They are taking space fairly fast. That Nick, I'm fairly sure they're going to use her to sneak in garage late when someone is dead on Team Secret. That person's then going to call, I have garage camera. They can't come in your back. And then all of a sudden, there's little Nick sneaking up behind you. Well, that's where the lore is from. She took you down into the lakes. And she'll do it from behind this time.
Just doing it in the face, apparently, because she's gone to 90.
Well, okay. Apparently my knowledge of Siege is almost non-existent.
No,
I have a question on why you would use your neck as the front and instead of the flank/roam.
Nade is going to come out, clear that utility. That's going to allow the Selma charge to detonate, make it a more difficult position to hold on to. Access has been gained from pillars and will likely just force that defender back, as we see behind the bookcase there. It's just going to be a longer angle for Kendrew to try and hold on to, but not too much top floor control yet coming in from Na'Vi Fresh.
I think it's a half clear, right? So as long as you've kept the defenders out of piano, then you can actually go in for this. Blair's going to get caught as he's thrown a nade, not aware Kendrew's behind the bookcase. Kendrew's actually got himself a power position here. Doesn't need to be too aggressive. We'll see a guy, we'll see a drone, we'll know to fall back as Nath does eventually find him. Thunder's going to push into 90, try and look for a pick, but there's only 25 seconds left.
A lot of work for Na'Vi to do here on the attack because Team Secret, they're just going to hold on to what they've got. And Sleben, he manages to find Kayak Nath with a trade again, and the kills start coming in a flurry. It's an absolute bloodbath. It's 2v2. It's Na'Vi. Somehow they find the final 2 kills. It's Thunder to lock it down, and that is going to be the round and the match, and that's going to be Na'Vi claiming it. But once again, Team Secret pushing somebody to the distance.
They really have, and it wasn't a bad showing by them. I think that we've been giving them quite a lot of free space, saying that, oh yeah, their coach is just going to be the guy they're not going to have a chance. But they have been playing well with their coach, and this wasn't a bad showing either, I don't think.
Not at all. Not at all. You're in there somewhere.
I mean, when you think about it when you think about it for Secret, that's 1 point gain. We're talking about the context of an overall year of a relegation fight because, you know, they put themselves in that by changing the player out after 2 games. They've gained a point just by getting to overtime. Navi, I think worthy winners, managed to come out in the end on top, strategically a little bit better. Obviously can shoot a little bit better given the current situation. But, you know, Secret can hold their heads high.
I think you're right. And if we come towards the end of the year and it's 1 point that saves Secret from a relegation game, you're going to remember games like that because that is where it came from. We're going to head to a short break. And when you come back, who knows who will be on the analyst desk, but we will certainly break that game down for you.